Well, I've said many times that if you get to be 65 or 70 and later, and the people that you want to have love you actually do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy people that give testimonial dinners to and name schools after and everything. Nobody loves them. Their own kids would say, he's in the attic, you know. Okay. Well, by far the best investment you can make is in yourself. That, for example, communication skills. I tell the students that come that they're going to graduate schools and business, and they're learning all these complicated formulas and all that. If they just learn to communicate better, both in writing and person, they increase their value at least 50%. I mean, you can't communicate. Somebody says, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Nothing happens, basically. And you have to be able to get forth your ideas, and that's relatively easy. I did it myself with the Dale Carnegie course. Some people wish I'd taken a shorter course now in terms of my talking later on, but it's just hugely important. And if you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you. I mean, and the second thing, which I'll get a certain criticism for not living it, but I do tell students, that if I gave you a car and it'd be the only car you get the rest of your life, you take care of it like you can't believe it. Any scratch, you'd fix that moment. You read the owner's manual, you keep a garage, you do all these things, and you get exactly one mind and one body in this world. And you can't start taking care of it when you're 50. By that time, you'll have rusted out if you haven't done anything. So you should really make sure that you just remember that you just got one mind and body to get through life with and to do the most with it.
What about life advice?
Well, life advice is, the most important thing, aside from the things I've talked about already, is really who you associate with. You want to associate with people that are better than you are. I mean, basically, you'll go in the direction of the people that you associate with, and you want to have the right heroes. You want people, if you want to emulate somebody, you better pick very carefully who you want to emulate. And when obviously you can't pick your parents. They're going to have an enormous influence on you, but you don't get a choice on that. But you get choices as you go down the line, and who you admire, who you want to copy, and the most important for most people in terms of that decision is their spouse. It's also important in terms of a partner in business. The partner in life is the most important. You want to pick a spouse that's a little bit better than you are. And then he or she, and you hope they don't figure it out too fast.
Great. Biggest mistakes people make when investing?
Well, they try to, they just don't realize that all you have to do is just buy a cross-section of America and then never listen to people like me or read the papers or do anything subsequently. They think that because you can trade, you should trade. You buy a farm, you buy an apartment house, you can't resell it tomorrow. And the cost of moving around. Now you get something handed to you, liquidity, which is instant. You can sell, and the cost of doing it are pennies, compared to other kinds of investment activity. So because they can so easily move around, they do move around, and moving around is not smarter than investing. Yeah, we've run Berkshire now for 47 years. There have been several times, 4 or 5 times when we've thought it was significantly undervalued. We saw the price get cut in half at least 4 times, or roughly in half, in fairly short periods of time. And I would say this, if you run any business for a long period of time, there are going to be times when it's overvalued and sometimes when it's undervalued. Tom Murphy ran one of the most successful companies the world's ever seen, and in the early 1970s, his stock was selling for about 1/3 of what you could have sold the properties for. And Berkshire back in 2000, 2001, whenever it was, that I wrote in the annual report that we were also going to repurchase shares, was selling at what I thought was a very low price, and we didn't get any repurchased. But that stocks, the beauty of stocks is they do sell at silly prices from time to time. I mean, that's how Charlie and I have gotten rich. You know, Ben Graham writes about it in Chapter 8 of The Intelligent Investor. You know, Chapters 8 and Chapters 20 are really all you need to do to get rich in this world. And Chapter 8 says that in the market you're going to have a partner named Mr. Market. And the beauty of him as your partner is that he's kind of a psychotic drunk. And he will do very weird things over time. And your job is to remember that he's there to serve you and not to advise you. And if you can keep that mental state, that all those thousands of prices that Mr. Market is offering you every day on every major business in the world practically, that he is making lots of mistakes. And he makes them for all kinds of weird reasons. And all you have to do is occasionally oblige him when he offers to either buy or sell from you at the same price on any given day, any given security. So it's built into the system that stocks get mispriced. And Berkshire has been no exception to that. I think Berkshire, generally speaking, has come closer to selling around its intrinsic value over a 47-year period or so than most large companies. If you look at the range from our high to low in a given year and compare that to the range high and low on 100 other stocks, I think you'll find that our stock fluctuates somewhat less than most, which is a good sign. But I will tell you, in the next 20 years, Berkshire will someday be significantly overvalued and at some point significantly undervalued. And that will be true for Coca-Cola and Wells Fargo and IBM and all of the other securities. I just don't know in which order and at which times. But the important thing is that you make your decisions based on what you think the business is worth. You make your buy and sell decisions based on what you think a business is worth, and you stick with businesses that you think you've got good reason to think you can value. You simply have to do well in stocks. The stock market is the most obliging, money-making place in the world because you don't have to do anything. You know, you sit there with thousands of businesses being priced at the same price for the buyer and the seller, and it changes every day, and you've got lots of information about most of those businesses, and you don't have to do anything.